Hi there, and welcome to the show. As usual, I haven't got masses and masses to say. I just wanted to make the point in an idea I did earlier. Let me have a look at this idea here: the importance of patience. Where I point out that this took a long time. So we're sorting out the 3 to the 4, and whether or not this whole aggregation, this whole sort of consolidation area here took 78 days. Okay, and so if we go back to where we are right now, even if we take the start of it back here in 13th of May when we had the shakeout to 25, we've still got conceivably more. Don't forget this is a monthly one, so it could take even longer. But I guess the only point I'm trying to make is that if you start it here, then you can see how long it could be. Even if you start it here, it could be that, and the fact that it's monthly makes it potentially longer. Now it doesn't mean it has to be that slow or that fast or anything. I guess the point I'm trying to make is a really simple one, that if you get screwed up by looking here in like the 1 hour and suddenly every move seems like a big deal, yeah, this looked like a massively powerful big deal, but it wasn't. And then this look, oh my god, and this looks, oh my god, but it just isn't. This is the thing, finding its price, and it can take weeks, days, and that's kind of my point that I'm trying to get across to you guys. Not really much else to say about that one. One sec, I've just got a trade on. I want to just quickly check it out. Okay, got out of that. So yeah, what is there to say? Not much. We haven't really done anything. Let's look at, and typically I'm looking at an 8 hour here because it gives me some form of perspective. You don't get carried away, and actually over 8 hour periods the volumes make more sense. And so those of you who haven't been watching and so forth before, please do ask questions if you're watching live. I do like answering questions. I don't really care what it is, as long as I don't even care if it's trading, to be honest. You can ask me what I had for breakfast, I really don't care. But it's nice to have some interaction so that people will ask questions. There are no dumb questions. We say that on the we say that on our channel a lot. We had a really nice compliment on our channel today, which was this: just wanted to say I've been on the server a few weeks now, learned so much in such a short space of time. Best decision I made signing up, slowly working my way through the books and watching videos when I get the opportunity. The education on the server is leading to new wormholes of theories that I couldn't comprehend before, but reading through the updates and chats helped me immensely, especially with the videos and comments you guys share. Thank you. So I mean, there's my ad, there's my plug for what we do. As to what we're reading into here, I'm just saying this is flatline. As far as I'm concerned, nothing much is going on. We're still waiting for it. I would say that, as I've said before, in case you hadn't heard, personally, I've put all I want to do in now. Might put some more in if I see real positive confirmation, but right now I'm DCA'd. 20,000 was where I was, would have been my ideal point before I started, and so there's no reason not to go in at 20,000. And I did, and finished and put the rest of my allocation into Bitcoin. Still haven't bought my XRP. It's been very, talking of XRP, this has been very stubborn. Just won't get down to my 28 level, which is where I want to buy it. 20, it just hasn't quite made it. The order's in there still because there could easily be another little shakeout, and I'll just sit there waiting for it, and it can't fight me off forever. These high volumes here tell me that XRP is in demand, and that also encourages me that you may find that Bitcoin is in demand too. So we go back to Bitcoin and look at the same sort of things. Getting a bit more volume when we dip, and then the volume drops off as we rise, a bit more volume as we dip. Now it's hard to say at the moment because the volumes are not fabulous, but for me, this is still looking like a good place to buy, still looking like accumulation. I was just going to check and see what we've got, if there's anybody asking questions anywhere. I can't see any. If you want to ask some questions, please ask now, because I can't connect to the chat. Interesting. Let me just say something on YouTube just in case. So if anyone can see the chat, then please can you, I'm just going to refresh if I can connect to it. Ah, there we go. I do have it. So Toby RTOX, does your VCATA method take into account any macro fundamentals? Is the next BTC move up contingent upon Fed easing pause? Do you look at Fed FOMC news at all? I'm aware of them, but I don't trade by them ever. I have an overall feeling that despite, no matter what they say, Fed, the FOMC, we are going to get a rally in the stock market. We're going to get a rally in Bitcoin. When that is, I don't know. Have we bottomed out in the stock market? I don't know. I originally published something about the stock market where I said, I underestimated how far it would go down, but I am worried. I called this. Now, I haven't called it down far enough because it's come a lot lower than this, but I still think we get another rally. So that's what I think. So all of this is price driven and me thinking about what does a composite man want and what market. It's all about psychology, really. It's not really about what the Fed are going to do. Trading with news has never made me any money in my life. Ignoring the news has made me money. Just grabbing the nettle when the time is right has made me money, so I stick to that. Valentin says, hi, do you see a dump to 17k this weekend? SPY doesn't look good. It could do. We've still got a wick to fill. Valentin says, hi. So let's have a look what I mean by that. So this wick here, if we see action down in this area, it doesn't surprise me. If it dips a bit low, it wouldn't surprise me, but we haven't really looked into this area at all. We may end up getting another test of this area. It's a bit early to think of springs, but it is possible. Personally, I think this is a secondary test here, and so the next one could be a spring. But these are only theories right now, and there's two areas we haven't really looked at in the chart. So this one here is also interesting for me that we haven't had a look up there yet. And I think we will see some expanding in this channel. This is a very, very tight. What is that? I mean, there's another point here. So that's just 20 to about, it's about $2,000, that channel wide. And I know that's 10%, but $2,000 back in the day was sweet F. It was absolutely nothing. And so as a result, I still think it's nothing in terms of how people think. It's just when it looks big on the chart, $2,000, because it is 10%. But, that's nothing. It's nothing. It's really nothing. And to find its way into those areas does not mean it's breaking out in one way or the other. Obviously, if it does break into those areas, I'll be interested in it. I'll be looking at price action and looking at volume. But for me, not really. So the answer, Valentin, I guess, is it's possible this weekend, yeah. So is also a rally up to 23, which everyone think will be the greatest thing since sliced bread was invented. But actually, that's only what the thing's calling for. It depends whether you see this. Let me just get the old pen up, which I'll screw up in a minute. Whether you see that as a seller's climax or that as a seller's climax. If you see that as a seller's climax and that as a secondary test, then this action up here needs to be followed up. So if you see this as a secondary, as a seller's climax, and that as an AR, then we do need to visit the lower part here, really quite badly. If you see this as a seller's climax and this is a secondary test, then we don't need to visit this bottom. We can just go, because there are two types of accumulation schematic, one of which means you only dally with the middle really and then just mess around in this area for a while before higher. So answer is, I don't know. Do I really think that? No. Does it bother me? No, not really, and I've bought mine. If it goes down to 17 again, I won't be buying more. And if it goes down to 17 again, I wouldn't advise you to buy more, because really you should be waiting now for confirmation, and confirmation is action up here, having seen action down here. So buying down here while it be tempting, probably not a good idea. Hi, Shekels, Crypto, Hito, Hopeful. For months, Maythor was talking about the 5 waves down on the A, followed by a monthly B. Surely we've had more than 5 waves down the ABC. No, we don't think that. Now, I'm not going to go into exactly why it is, but don't forget Mayfair is really good at this. That would be my first thing. He's really good at it. And so what he's saying is just go out and look at this drop, get rid of some of this. So what he's actually saying is this move down one. Well, it's really hard to pick out, but there's a possibility. Okay, let's turn the Elliott wave on. So this move down, he still sees, he's still more comfortable with a 5-wave move down, and the reason is that they're more likely than the ABC, which is the alternative. Let me draw the ABC now. So the A, B, C. Okay, so he's seeing, he doesn't think that's necessarily the one. So what he's calling now, in fact, I can't really say what he's calling now because we're supposed to be keeping that for the members of the Discord. But regardless, and the important thing to come out of this is regardless of whether this is the A or this is the C, the next move should be up. That's what we're thinking. Okay? So either way around, we're bullish around here. It's the right level. The waves match. It works for us. And, you know, we're bullish here. It's as simple as that. You know, we're not recommending selling this, and we're not convinced it goes down to 12,000 as the whole of Twitocrota, as I'll call it, talks about. Sarah, and you fully mentioned a rally of sorts for the remainder of 2023 before a deep drop afterwards. Once this completes outside of crypto, is there anything you see value in? I don't really know. I mean, value is an odd thing. I think XRP is the one value for me. Outside of crypto, I've got no real form. I do a lot of foreign exchange, so Aussie US, I'd say. We're going to get a rally. So, yeah, I'd say Aussie US, New Zealand US as well. The remainder of 2022, yes, I understand. Marco Mayerhofer, hi, would you be so kind and have a look at Shell stock? Yes, we can. Obviously, oil companies do great in times of high oil price. What am I seeing there? Sad. I don't have volume. It's really quite sad that I'm not seeing volume there. Now, the problem with using Elliott waves on stocks is a simple one. Let's go right out to the monthly. Stocks go up over time. Not all of them, but indexes certainly do, and stalwarts and heavyweights like this tend to as well. So here we have everybody thinking the world was coming to an end, and so since then we've had an impulsive one, not much of a pullback. What's that? Hang on. Impulsive one, not much of a pullback. 2, 3. That looks, it's looking like a 3. 4's not pulled back enough. So it's probably looking for price action here. Whoever that was asking me in Shell. Who was it? Marco Mayerhofer. You know, to give it the impetus it needs to get to there or there. Just looking at this. Yeah, pull back to 2150 maybe. Could go lower. There you are. That's what I think of that. No one's asking me anything on TradingView, which is nice. Anybody else for anything? I haven't got masses to say today. As I say, the overall thing is we're still happy enough to be long a Bitcoin, and you know, what else is there to say? The other thing I said right at the beginning, which some people may have missed, is that it could take a long time. So don't get all sort of excited about stuff. If we go back to the daily, I pointed out that this took a long time. So if we look at this, you know, that's 70 days or whatever, 78 days it was. If we transplant that to now, you know, see how long it could be. And that was a weekly move. This is a monthly move. It could be longer. Even if you start it here, in line with this initial dump, still longer. So those are the things I want to leave you with. USD Euro. Now, okay, USD Euro is a horrible thing, but I will look at it. I've got a fantastic piece of advice about Euro USD, actually. Do not trade this shit. There you go, that's the advice. It is heavily manipulated. It moves in such a way to remove your money from your pocket all the time. It doesn't mess around. It's one of the hardest things to trade, and yet it's the most popular, and that's because people aren't told by people like me that it's the hardest thing to trade. It's as simple as that. So there's my advice on it. I think there's possibly another low in this, and really if you want to look at it, you want to look at DXY. So this is the daily on DXY, and I would not be surprised to see us fill this wick up to sort of 105, which obviously is the direct inverse of Euro USD. And so this is something that Lewis talked about 3 or 4 days ago, another push up, and it just feels like there is another push up in this market in DXY. In other words, a push down in all the stuff that we love. Okay, so that's what I think about that. Right, I'm going to call it there because there's really not a great deal else to say. I'll be on as soon as anything happens. Feel free to ask questions. If you come on to our Discord, the invitation is at the bottom. Then you can go into the visitors channel and you can communicate with me and Mayfair, and also with the other guys there. And it's a healthy old chat there. So do join, do have a look, do ask questions, don't be shy. Okay, so until the next time, take it easy.